Yeah, if I grab the headphones.
Headphones? You mean the ones you have on your
Where?
head? Or the Puro
No,
ones?
because we're going to be talking about some fun headphones.
Did I put
I
that in
don't
the
know
title?
where.
Say something about Puro gaming or Puro headset. We review. Well, I mean, actually, I'll say this. My son is still using his Puro headset
Mm-hmm.
from
Yeah,
olden age, the one we take a look at a long time ago.
I
Um,
do want to point out as we're. Hey, everybody, welcome to a tech podcast. We're doing it live. Apologies for a slight delay as we were working out some technical difficulties. It sounds like you might not be on your mic. It sounds like your
Perfect.
audio might be coming from.
The computer.
Yeah. Are you on the laptop?
You're right. Da,
Hey,
da.
hey.
Okay.
Golden ears for the win.
Now we should be listening. We should be back to normal.
Hey, those are the
Okay,
dulcet tones
so
I want from TK
all
Mabe.
of the audio settings and everything that was supposed to go through because of that power outage early this week went down the
Yeah.
tubes. So yeah, that's how we do it. Yeah.
So Marie's
Hmm.
work laptop fried. She's on a temp PC right now, and they're gonna order her a new system.
Well,
We never had a full outage. We just had like flickers, but
so
apparently that was enough to
so
sizzle cook her Dell's
that's what happened to me
charger.
on Monday. Yeah, last Sunday, not Monday, on Tuesday. On Sunday, we had a full-on blackout. So power went out. We were gone for like 4 or 5 hours. Came back in the middle of the night. That was
Hmm.
just normal, and I think that those most of our system are designed to handle. It's
Yeah,
that's like what happened to me on Tuesday, where the power went out and came back, but it didn't come back as
yeah,
full force. It came back like halfway for some reason. I don't know how to explain that.
yeah.
So part of my house had power, the other part didn't. But then all of my tripwire, sorry, the RFI switches for the power outlets tripped around the house, and and
Oh,
and
that would do
like,
it.
oh my god, like the whole, like all the, and then so I had to call, get an electrician to come out. They explain to me what is going on. So
Yeah,
not fun, and
not fun.
I really hope they fix this before the next storm comes in, because this is not fun. It is not cool. It was in the middle
Yeah,
of me
it's
shooting a
tough.
video. Like I was about to start, and it was like,
Oh
and the
no.
whole house went out. I'm like, the universe is telling me, TK, you just need to take a break.
Not the time to make this video. That's
You are
great.
not making this video today, my friend. So long story short, that's the reason why the Find X7 Ultra video came out a little bit later. It was supposed to be
I
earlier in
think
the week.
that's okay. I
Yeah.
think there's plenty of runway to talk about the Find X7. It's a phone that I feel we should be owing a
I
longer
Oh, no, no, no.
kind of conversation
This
on.
needs a
So
much, definitely. But I just realized after I posted the video, I referred to the Find X6 Pro as the Find X6 Ultra because of the whole Pro Ultra that kind of conversation. Because last year it
yeah,
was a Pro, this year it's an Ultra, but it's a different kind of Ultra. We have more cameras, but either way. Um, I need to buy a new case though. That was one thing I learned very, very quickly. The case that comes
hmm
with it is not jeans friendly. So either way, how you doing, man?
actually a few of these cases have been like that too, where it's like
Yeah.
I like that it's kind of a grippier plastic, but then it
Mhm.
pulls my pocket like all the way out when I take out the phone. I've been doing good. I'm exhausted. This week has been the longest month of my life. And I know I make that joke a lot, but
No, I've been, yeah. I'm like, it's what week, 1 week into January and into February, but it feels
yeah.
like July for some reason, and it doesn't
Yeah.
stop. We're leading up to,
It's been a lot.
man, dude, MWC is like 12, 14, 15, like 15 days or so away. We're like right almost at the beginning, and like crap.
Hmm.
Oh man, yeah, no stress, no stress at all.
That just hit you all at once, didn't it? I just felt like the whole weight of like the next 2 weeks just land in your lap.
My no,
It's
is
so
it weird
much.
when you think that 15 days is not enough time, and you're like, but TK, those are days. Well, yeah, but there's other things
Yeah.
going on. It's not like I can just
Yeah.
ignore the world and yeah, no, and then the power goes out. But no, it's been a rough week. It's I managed to put out a few videos, like 3 videos I think this week so far, and
Hmm.
I still have a backlog that I need to kind of get out. I have like the Keychron keyboard that I haven't put out the video on.
Yeah.
Um, I have a couple more little, like a little Geek on PC that I need to start finishing up because I gotta finish that before I go to, again. This is why I'm kind of panicking a little bit. because I have to finish that before MWC. I can't sit on it forever. Um,
And and like when we start talking about like mini PCs, that's not something like, oh, you know what? I'll pack it with me, cover some of it in the hotel. Maybe I can kick out the video. It's like, no, it's a whole computer. I'm not going to pack even a mini PC, a whole computer to try and finish it up on the road or anything like that.
I tried doing that in the past. The amount of supplementary pieces that you would need to take with you, because if you're just going to try to connect it to the TV, it doesn't really work the same. If you bring a display with it, bring a keyboard, bring a mouse. At that point, you're like, I have no space for anything else, so you can't really.
I shouldn't have done this.
Yeah.
Although I did do that with the Ace PC at MediaTek.
Okay.
So I packed 2 portable monitors and a keyboard and mouse, and I took that little AMD system down, and it just lived in the hotel room. And you're like, this is the best setup I've had for editing in years, since the LG V30.
Yeah.
And I've been shooting my videos and editing from phones. This is like the nicest command center I've ever created over all that time. So
it is always.
It was nice, but it was like I drove. It's like I wouldn't have done that if I'd flown.
Oh, actually, yeah, you're right. You're right. That would have been different if you had to fly with it, because in this
I
situation,
wouldn't have done it. Yeah,
exactly. You don't have to carry. Well, I mean, you do, but you don't have to. You drove yourself. That was actually a fun time, man. I miss MediaTek.
That was a good time.
I miss that was a very short trip, but a lot of fun with a lot of friends.
Yeah,
and it was just chill.
And also, it was like just coming at a time where I felt like the purpose of us all being there, even though we know what like a big Silicon conference is supposed to be, and we're reporting on their announcements and stuff, but I also felt like it was one of the better experiences of recent memory where we got good insight and really candid conversations from engineers, not just executives.
Oh yeah,
no,
absolutely,
the press
exactly,
release stuff.
exactly.
So it was really solid.
We didn't just sit down and watch the presentation. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's definitely going to be a lot of that.
Dude,
for
there was Tony
the
Hawk.
conference.
Come on, man! It was a presentation followed by Tony Hawk, followed by partying, followed by karaoke.
It's like, well, my wife has been on Zoom calls with Tony Hawk. It's maybe not as special for us because we're pretty close with TH, as he
I
likes
see how
to be
it is.
called.
On that note, I'm going to just walk myself off.
So that is absolutely not true. If you ever meet Tony Hawk, don't call him TH. That's not a thing. Yeah. But we do have so much new tech, like stuff that we couldn't talk about last week, but we've been using all of this time.
Yep.
And it just keeps going. I mean, where do you want to start? Because we've got
where can we start?
We've got Audio Kit to talk about because both of us have like earbuds and headphones and stuff. But then we both have been working on phones. We have both had the OnePlus 12R as long as we've had the OnePlus 12, and OnePlus played a split embargo. So as soon as we were putting out our OnePlus 12 videos, we were still working on 12R coverage. I actually feel more confident in my 12R review than I did in my 12 video, just because I had a whole extra week to kind of use it and play with it and compare it and get a feel for it. Like, if you kind of watch the 2 videos, I actually feel like my 12R video is just a little bit better informed in where I think it fits than even my OnePlus 12 video. Sorry, that was me rambling. Do you want to start with audio, or do you want to start with the phone, or what do you want to do?
Let's go with some audio, guy. Why don't we just go audio first? Because I feel like I'll say I'll second obviously the timing and everything on the 12R, but we'll keep that for that part of the conversation. So I think
sure. So if we're doing audio, I want you to tell me which one are the OnePlus Buds 2 and which one are the OnePlus Buds 3. Ready, go.
Okay, give me 1 second. I can tell you right now.
I don't know if this will focus without my face. Hey, that kind of focused.
It kind of does. Oh, I see what you're doing. You're hiding the Dyna Audio in the at the top. Can you actually just hold the earbuds? No, I don't need the cases. Can you just hold the earbuds?
Tricky.
Oh no, it's easy to tell.
That would be cheating.
Okay, I'm gonna say from the way you're the one with the hand without a ring are the new Buds 3.
Correct. Good eye, TK. Good eye.
Because of that.
That was excellent. Yeah, it was the you can kind of tell around the casing because there's the swipe strip versus
as opposed to the touch.
the squeeze.
Yep.
That was amazing audio podcasting. Anyone who's catching the audio replay of me holding earbuds up to the camera, I'm sure you had a brilliant time listening to this. So
we really need to learn how to do this. This is just not working anymore.
I know. Right? We're really good at what we do. I mean, like, just to kind of get a conclusion out of the way up front, because, you know, I put out a video on it. We've been talking about it. Our very good friend, Jeff, El Jefe Reviews.
Yeah.
He imported his. Like, he wanted to be ahead of the embargoes for the rest of us. I was really happy to catch his video on this.
Yes.
And hear how closely my experiences matched his.
Okay.
This is a very good earbud that is one of the worst fits for my ears. And yet I know there are people who are going to pick these up and adore what OnePlus is doing at $100.
I'm on with the latter part of the conversation as far as the. Yeah, I'll let you finish your point. I'll let you finish your point. I mean, it's a good pair of the OnePlus Buds Pro 2, the last generation of the Pro series, are my favorite. These are the pair. These are the buds that you'll always find in my pocket. I'm not going to lie to you. I actually have two of them because I broke the first one, and I went and bought it and got another one because this is the reality. I like the fit. I like the battery life. I like the audio performance on it. It meets my type of music that I listen to when I'm traveling, which is typically heavy bass, heavy drum, a lot of treble, basically dance, EDM, rock, just that music that just energy music, things that kind of go past the time. And I like what they've done in the app. This has, I guess I'm trying to jump ahead of myself. From what I loved from my last year with the Pros, and I still use them, the Buds 3 leveraged that. They got a lot closer to the Pros than they were the Zs, where the Z series used to be. More
we can kind of detail some of this.
Sure.
There are very, very minor architectural differences in the drivers. The big driver on the Pros is an 11 millimeter driver. The big driver on the Buds 3 is a 10.6 millimeter driver, which acoustically, I don't know many people could really hear a tangible difference, but there is a slight difference in OnePlus's tuning. I think the Buds 3 is a little bit more of an aggressive V. We do not have head tracking. Both pairs of Buds support spatial audio, but only the Buds Pro support locking the audio to your phone so that as you move your head around, it kind of follows the direction of your head. And then wireless charging is not on the Buds 3 case. And then other than that, they're very... so the
interface is very different.
The interface is different, but I'm going to call that one a wash because I really like... So when I'm controlling features on the Buds Pro, I like that you squeeze the stock. You don't tap the earbud into your ear canal.
I feel like the tapping is very...
But one of the most important controls that I use on my earbuds is volume, and I would much rather have the Buds 3 swipe volume control. So to me, that's a toss-up. Like, that's a tie. They're different, but I wouldn't say one's better than the other because they both kind of irritate in different ways.
They both irritate in different ways. Such a beautiful way of saying it.
But I mean, like, when you can get like 90% of what makes the Buds Pro such a good earbud, but we're talking MSRP, the Buds 3 are like $80 cheaper. I think OnePlus has done something really interesting. I think that is a smart play that also fits their phone strategy, where at $100, these kind of shame what you would get out of a pair of AirPods. That seems to be OnePlus's mission: is where is a company like Apple most vulnerable? You look at the $100 AirPods, they're not great. They're sort of just adequate Bluetooth earbuds. And now here OnePlus comes with better audio drivers, better audio quality, better support for high-res audio, spatial audio, active noise cancellation. Just like across the board, there is no victory on the AirPod side that you can point to. I mean, they support multi-point, all of these new technologies, fast pair. Have you played with the new Hollow audio on OnePlus?
No, that was one point.
It is super funky. I don't know if this is like dumb novelty or if it's something that I'll actually use, but you can like pin audio sources into like a bowl around your head. And that way you can be like, oh, well, okay, I've got like music coming in from here, but then I've got another like alerts and things coming in from over here. It's a really weird way to kind of position audio. But again, we've got the chip and the support and the hardware and the software all kind of working together to at least try to do something new. So it's a very interesting competitor at that $100 tier. This is like kind of going in my recommendation list right against One More's and Soundcores and those kinds of brands. But I am not a shallow insertion ear tip kind of guy. I'm a get all the way in there with something clinical, like up to the first bend of my ear canal. And none of the OnePlus earbuds, like also the AirPod Pros, they don't stay in my ears. The second I move my jaw, I've defeated passive and active noise cancellation. I love everything about them so long as I keep my face completely still. Which everyone knows I'm way too long-winded to ever sit that still.
And for everybody listening, if you haven't caught the show on Monday, please make sure to catch the SGGQA on Monday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, where our buddy does go for the long-winded conversations there. But
yeah, it was a 2.5 hour show this week.
This week was crazy. No, really, like I mean, seriously, some marathons, dude. I will say. Actually, I will say this one for Monday's thing. I think we need to get you to try the Xiaomi Watch 2 Pro because I think that was I don't know why that popped in my head because I popped in and out of the live stream on Monday because it's on YouTube and I can catch on YouTube a little bit. But so here's my thing. I'm happy about the Buds 3 and I'm definitely happy with what they're offering and the price point. But I feel like OnePlus shouldn't really kill off the Z series. I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to elevate the audio, but I felt like the Z series was feeding a specific market. Like it was almost like these. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're going to keep the Nord series. I think the Nord now is what used to be the Z series. But I think where we have here is I feel like this is more of a Pro, like a light version of the Pro than it is an upgrade to what the Z series used to be. If you feel what I'm trying to like, kind of the Z series were 50, 60 bucks spare buds.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I worry that OnePlus is not at their best when they are working too many tiers and categories. So I agree with you. I feel like they need an earphone competitor or like a Soundpeats competitor. I think they do, but if they don't think they do, then they might be looking at saying, hey, like, we've got this really great phone. It's called the Nord, and it's very inexpensive. And if someone wants a really good earbud to go with it, that's $100 accessory add-on. And it's not an impulse buy. That is still a lot of money for someone, especially someone who's shopping more Nord tier. That is a lot of money to tack onto your phone.
It's like
to your phone purchase.
It could be as close as about 30-40% of the price of your phone.
But we're also seeing like that has now kind of become normalized as the adequate range to buy an earbud because of companies like Apple. So if they're looking to streamline and kind of focus in on just like what is a good profitable niche for our audio to be a good contributor of sort of monetizing consumer interactions, I kind of get where they'd want to float the $100 price tier, and then every other year you could maybe alternate. Maybe we don't get another Buds Pro this year and we get a OnePlus Buds Pro 4 or something like that. But then you could do one that's maybe cheaper one year and one that's more expensive the next, as long as you're kind of tick-tocking, like staging your upgrades over time.
Battery life and technology we've advanced quite a bit. I mean, the reality is uh, the features that we get now, obviously, on the Buds 3 are, I want to say, almost like night and day to what you were getting with the Z series. The Z series had a very
No,
specific
they're
target.
noticeably better though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, and from audio, from configuration, and the fact that literally, like, I mean, I can hold both of them, and it's hard to tell which one is which. That's the intention there. I think OnePlus is doing it. The biggest thing, though, that I feel like at the end of the day, when we're looking at the OnePlus Buds 3, is that with that, and if you do any kind of trade-in against the OnePlus 12R, the combination of the two could still keep you under $500.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part for me. And you're right with the Nord, and because they technically do have OnePlus Nord Buds, which could be the new Z series, but they're just keeping it under the Nord side, they can more affordable side. I like what they're doing with the OnePlus Buds 3. There's rumors saying that maybe this is the new Pro, but they just don't want to call them the Pro. They're going to that whole non-Pro title.
I disagree with those just because I in listening to both, there's not, I don't know. And if anyone in the chat has some thoughts on this, I'd love to hear some other thoughts. I don't know that there's a lot more that we can build into consumer-facing earbuds that's going to revolutionize wireless audio. We have Zen mode, we've got spatial audio, we've got a true high-res codec. It's not aptX, it's not LDAC, but this is LHDC5 is really good. I'm trying to think, we've got tuning capabilities, we've got in-ear detection, we've got hearing scanning so that you can customize a profile.
Yep.
We have dual driver. This is a dual driver earbud that has tons of space and one of those great low frequency shelves. Like, it's not muddy, it's not dull. The bass just extends through the sub bass. Like, I don't know what shakes up the earbud has now become kind of another commodity product because no phones have headphone jacks. I don't know what you do to shake this up or make it, disruptive. What earbuds are already pretty mature, and at $100, this is a phenomenal tech buy where you miss out on a couple of the more extravagant features. At this point, yeah, we can kind of keep pushing cheaper, but after a while, you start making e-waste, and the company isn't profiting from like a $30 or a $40 Bluetooth earbud. Really, I don't think OnePlus is going to sell at a scale where that makes sense. I worry that OnePlus making a $50 earbud is only going to be warehouse stock for trade-in offers or bundle deals.
Or free.
If you buy your new Nord, you get some free buds with them. And you're okay, well,
that's what
then you're not making any money on. Yeah, I mean, OnePlus does that a lot. Every company does. Samsung does that a lot. But then you're not really making money on.
Buds 3 were also free with pre-orders, if I'm not mistaken. On that, I forgot if it's with the 12 or the 12R. Quite a few people.
Let's look that up
because
I think there was. There was like a tier where, depending on trade-in, you got a pair of Buds 3.
I got a couple comments letting me know that they were listening to the video with the Buds 3. I'm like, that is cool. That is nice. Because I like that. No, I mean, hey, it's, look, for where they are, for what they offer, it is absolutely a great combination of features, and it is an easy recommendation. And I think as long as the fit works for you, and this is a tough thing to do because I'll be honest with you, where most buds for me work perfectly fine, I know that my wife has a very specific, I'll be very honest with you. The OnePlus Buds, the Nord Buds, last year's Nords, those fit her. But when I tried giving her the Pros last year, it wouldn't work. It's like it's a personal preference. And once it started
it's just
working,
different enough.
She's like, yep, I'm good. I got the Nords, because when we traveled and all that stuff, she needs a pair of earbuds for the plane. So yeah, it's going to come down to the fit, and that part you can't really kind of customize. But did you try using any aftermarket tips with them? And because I know you have a few extras from your other.
I had a box of spin fits that I tried with the Buds too. I have no idea where those ear tips went, and they helped, but they didn't They didn't lock in. I'm so used to old school field recording in-ear monitors that like etymatics. You would have like that triple flange like ear plug that would go all the way in to like tickle your brain.
It's about to drill into your ears.
Yeah, it looks like something like from Total Recall.
Exactly.
They're drilling through the Martian planet side.
I'm just trying to get better audio.
Just trying to dig out some earwax, I guess. That's the kind of experience I go for. Like, I really like the periodic audio has a big conical fat foam ear tip that you can really wedge in there. So even the spin fits, they helped, but the second I would and move my jaw around, they still would shift around. They wouldn't pop out as immediately as the OnePlus ear tips would. So I'm looking up the OnePlus website right now, and they don't have any bundle, like you don't get free earbuds now.
It was in the
but
they may have been doing,
but they're still doing 30% off for either. So you could score the Buds Pro for $110.
Not bad. That is actually
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can score the Buds 3 for $70. so it's still like a $30 or $40 difference, but like, those are both really good solutions when we're sub $100, and then also when we're just over $100. The Buds Pro 2 are, to me, are still completely viable, competitive against AirPods Pro. I feel like they deserve to be in the conversation right there.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think the pros are still like it's a fine line that OnePlus drew between the pros and the 3, because you could see what they've deemed to be a pro feature. I personally like the ability of being able to like tactfully feel that you just click something, because you know that response is going to happen as soon as you click it. Where the touch,
I really don't like the casing tap. I don't like it at all.
And then you're like, did I tap twice? Did I miss it? Did I hit the side? Did it go? Did it, you know what I mean? Like, you end up having to guess. And when you're doing things, the last thing you do want to, But I will say, if you're coming into OnePlus and you're getting your first pair of Buds, you can't go wrong with the Buds 3. I think it's an easy walk into the ecosystem, as long as you're comfortable with tap. If you do want the the clicky function, I think that's the biggest, and obviously maybe a little bit different. There is a better tuning on here because of their collaboration with Dynaudio, but I think the difference for me has been more, like the fit is the same, but I feel like I still gravitate towards the pros a little bit more. Like I don't mind what we're getting here. It's like a little bit different in the configuration, but they both work great. The wireless charging is a nice to have, I'll be honest with you, but it's not a deal breaker. I always wire charge these, but I almost never deplete them. This is the weird part about it. The batteries last forever. Yeah, and that's the thing. So long flights and all of that.
We like to talk about what the manufacturer's claims are, but 5.5 hours. I got pretty close to 5.5 hours with LHDC and ANC on. Yeah. And that's pretty good with like 4 other charges in the case. Like, it's hard to get too picky now.
And you can single pair them used it, by the way. You don't have to use both at the same time.
Yeah, and you can be trading them out and stuff too.
And then trade them out.
But again, it's like that is such a clear shot at what Apple is doing, where the AirPods Pro, I think, are still like sub 4 hours when you turn on all the bells and whistles. And you're like, that's burning out those little batteries sooner. You're going to have to replace them sooner. I mean, it's like all of those little things kind of stack up on you, because I think I'm a little disappointed that we sort of normalized the idea of $100 consumer earbuds. I used to tell people like, hey, I've got a couple different pairs of in-ear monitors. The cheapest ones were $100. My nicest ones, I think, were $1,000. Yeah. Like, oh, who could spend that much? I was like, well, this is for my job. I'm out in the middle of like the desert holding boom mics over my head. I need to have a couple different options so I can hear WTF I'm doing. But, I got, Sony HD25s, and those are like $250 headphones. And people acted like it's just the most extravagant. Like, how could you spend that much money on audio? And unfortunately, now we've kind of primed consumers that like $100 is where you should start. And if we still did cabled audio,
for good audio, I think that we need to preface that by saying 100 to start with.
Yeah,
good audio. There are some good options. Just the features change.
It's $100 for good Bluetooth buds. I mean, I would still be able to point to a handful of like Chi-Fi cabled headphones that I prefer the sound or, you know, offer better fit or customization.
Yeah.
If we still had headphone jacks on our phones, like what you get in terms of audio quality out of a $100 Bluetooth solution can face some tough competition with $30
Wired connection.
cabled earbuds. So we know it's more than that. It's the whole like, oh, you know, it's so convenient to have this extra case and battery and thing that I need to charge and pair and yeah, I guess. But it is a bit disappointing to me because there's like a tier below where we can say, hey, you can still get some really good stuff. There are companies that I really do like, SoundPeats and Earfun. I mean, we were just talking, Edifier has made some great stuff sub $100, but it's not as good. You know, like it's good. It's a good $50 or $40 earbud. But if I spent $50 or $40 on cabled earbuds, I would be into audiophile listening. It's audiophile on the cheap, but it would be really good. It would be a lot better than that $40 or $50 Bluetooth earbud. So I still feel like we haven't quite stuck the landing on Bluetooth can offer up all of this and really kind of catch us up to where we were. I don't think you can when you've got batteries and radios against a cable. It's not a fair fight, but I still feel like we've oversold it.
We're not seeing a very big adoption of Snapdragon sound features that were coming in with the W chips that were announced at last I guess the summit in October. So the issue is that's going on is Qualcomm is putting out hardware. Qualcomm is putting out, you know, new chips every year. We're getting improvements there, but more so than not, a lot of the companies are tuning into, like, you know, OnePlus is using LHDC. Nothing's wrong with LHDC. If you're running a Xiaomi, a OnePlus, an Oppo, or Realme, it runs. Yeah. It is compatible with it. But you start looking at other devices in the US market, let's say Samsung as an example, they don't support LHDC. So you're going to default back to SBC or AAC, depending on the codec. So the concern, though, that we're looking is we're still somewhat in that we do things our way type of a solution. There's the standards. Obviously, AAC and SBC is going to be pretty much just across the board. But, you know, I feel like if you have a OnePlus device or a compatible device, you're going to get a much better experience. And I feel like that's why this is a really good pairing with the 12R. This is where you don't have to install an app. Everything is done directly in the Bluetooth settings.
Everything you're saying is spot on.
Yeah.
And at exactly the same time, everything you're saying is making me very upset about consumer lock-in tools we learned from Apple.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was trying to leading into a little bit, but yeah, no, I know what you meant.
Yeah. It's I don't want the idea in people's heads that if I want really good high-res audio with my Samsung phone, I buy the Samsung Buds, but they use a proprietary Samsung audio codec, and now I can't use those buds if I want to switch to another phone, so I guess I better just stick with Samsung. It's like everything just feels so ratcheted towards
locking you in.
Again, so much of it is like preying on that sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah.
Where if we try to show some other examples, like you can step outside of this bubble, then you can find some other solutions, and I think you're going to be in good shape. Or, hey, if you really are sort of a fan of music and you don't use music as the background to distract you from a workout, you use music to really listen. Like that is the activity. Maybe you want to skip true wireless and you want to go to a portable DAC and get yourself some cabled earbuds, and then it won't matter. It won't matter what phone you go to or what device you're using or what earbuds or headphones you change to. You have this little puck that does the good audio for you. So it's just
something like this, like a little portable.
I mean, or you can take it to like a little Fio. I mean, this can go wired or wireless.
No.
You know, it is like having an iPod Mini in your pocket again, but it's an audio focused device that kind of keeps you. I don't know. I just feel there's a nuance to this conversation still where part of the message gets through. We're selling an idea of convenience.
It absolutely.
The other part of the message isn't breaking through, where convenience means one thing in one direction, but it also means kind of a pain in another direction, and we're not properly balancing all of those talking points. So that's the grander. That's not really what we're talking about here. In the grand scheme of $100 MSRP earbuds that are very easily found on sale down at like $70, I think OnePlus has done something solid, and I don't think this company gets enough credit for how consistently good they've been with headphones.
Oh, even
Their
during
earbud strategy has been
I was
great.
going to say,
Yeah.
their wired solutions were great. Their wireless solution, the first generation with the snap-on with the string and all of that with the magnetic.
Oh yeah, I still have my buds, my bullets somewhere. They're in this box over here. I think I could probably dig them out with enough time, but
I didn't even have to go that far.
hey, good man. He had that like in arm's reach.
That was, I'll say this. No, I did not plan for this. I obviously do keep them in there. But yeah, no, the bullets, the OnePlus bullets. And of course,
good times.
I loved always, like, I would take them off and let them come out straight in my, and then it's just swoop, and then stop the music. Yep. But I also like the fact that they used to come with a really nice case. And we also have those extra tips. No, absolutely. I think for as long as they've had audio solutions, they've always had good audio. It's never been an issue with audio, and the drivers that they use, the battery life has always been solid. I think the biggest challenge, though, is you're right. It's brand awareness. People not realizing that, OnePlus doesn't just make phones; they make other stuff, and they have a watch.
Even just getting people to know that OnePlus makes phones.
Well, no, I think this year is a definite good move for them. I hope with all of their booths, wherever they are with Best Buy, the Buds make it there with the phones. Like, I'm hoping that there'll be like a stand, maybe in a some kind of a see-through case or something like that. They can have a pair that people can see that it looks nice. The design is cool. There's really good colors. And now they have two options that are similar to each other with slightly different features that can help you get into 100 or 100.
It would be great if they had just like a single vertical and they had every single sort of accessory and phone just to kind of display like this is an entire ecosystem of products. And I don't know, it would just be a nice change of pace.
Hopefully they'll update the watch at some point and then we'll get a version 2. But like that first watch was also very nice looking. I'll say that. It looked great. Saw another success, but last year we got only the Buds.
It is unfortunate. Well, I'm pretty sure, we got some of the guys on the Discord got emails after putting in a pre-order on the OnePlus 12, mentioning that one of the other perks that might be available was a watch.
Okay.
So
I didn't. Well, I didn't pre-order mine, so I didn't get that.
Went out in some markets. I feel like OnePlus kind of got ahead of their own potential announcements soon.
They were teasing stuff,
but yeah,
we teased too much.
We saw a few screenshots from people saying like, "Hey, there's nothing for me to order or buy, but you're mentioning this other product that might exist."
It's been going on for a little bit. I heard some of that on and I've seen it even on Twitter and so on. But I just thought it was more like it could be just down the road because we just launched all of this. I mean, do you really think they would do something like that so soon? Did we just went to
I don't know.
2 phones? And
I mean, this is OnePlus we're talking about. I feel it's a coin flip whether or not they really do have a product ready to announce.
Yeah.
Or that was like a placeholder, and then they changed what the promo deal was. And that didn't make it past the placeholder.
Like
it's OnePlus.
Like it just wasn't ready. Like it was just not ready to go now. They're gonna switch it out. Put the Buds. Take out.
Both could be perfectly valid. They're both good enough at this and bad enough at this. That both could be true. Either could be true, not both at the same time.
Oh my god! I'm with you.
No, this has been like a really fun experience. I think we should use this to kind of segue into the 12R, because that's been the combo. I've actually spent a little bit more time with my SIM card in the 12R than I have with my SIM card in the 12. It's back in the 12 now.
I was going to say.
And I'm really happy that it is.
The 12 is very compelling.
I kept, just to keep it all in the family, I did the Buds Pro with my 12, and I did the Buds 3 with the 12R. Okay. Price tiers, what you would try and staple together. Yeah. But I feel in a world where the OnePlus 11 currently exists, the 12R is a little bit trickier to just outright say, flagship killer, this is the one, check it out, it's great.
Yeah.
But I don't imagine the OnePlus 11 is going to stick around for long.
Yes, and I think okay. So we've said this before, and I think we've talked about it on the show where the 11 was a course correction. The 11 was the Pixel 5 of Google. That's what the 11 is. It's the where everybody says, let's just shift in reverse, or like just put it in neutral, let people pass. We're going to reset. We're going to regroup. We're going to figure out exactly what we're going to do. And we're going to start from here. So the 11 is a good starting point. It wasn't as big of it didn't make as big of a splash that OnePlus wanted to with the way they changed it, because there was a few things there. There was a tailoring done to the experience on the phone. We lost a few features with the 11. We didn't just lose a name. We lost features at the same time where the price dropped a little bit. And I think that took us a year to recover from.
I agree with you, but I also feel like that was by design, because that was the first year where they really severed their carrier relationship. So you don't want to go and put out a more expensive product the first year you don't have it in carrier stores. I feel like that's just kind of the subtle difference in how I would describe that. Like, it is a course correction. You can tell they were trying to reach a lower price, but I feel like they were trying to do that because they also knew, like, this is the first year we're not going to show up in a T-Mobile. This is the first year where this phone isn't going to be making it to other consumer experiences for people to check out. This is going to be web sales pretty much its entire
web
life.
Sales, Amazon, Best Buy, all the just general web outlets. Yeah, no,
but what I'm saying though is the 12R. So if we look at features and how nice a device is right now, I think the lineup goes 12R, 11, 12, open. And so the 12R and the 11 being so close, it does make the conversation a little more difficult for the 12R as long as the 11 is sticking around.
Because
but I
the price
don't
point of the 11
think
would be lower than what it was last year. No, I agree. I'm with you.
But I don't think the 11 is going to stick around for long, because I don't think OnePlus is just building these and having them stocked in warehouses. I think they're making much smaller batches.
Oh no, that part I agree. I feel like for the way you organize them in order of 12R, 12R, 11, 12, I think that makes perfect sense. I think for me the 12R really feels more like a 12T, like an 11T. The way it was put together, it was meant to be cheaper than the main device that they released at the beginning of the year. Captures some of the main benefits of it, but also improves in other areas. Typically, something is a little bit different, kind of like a tease into the next year. So we get the faster charging, we get the larger battery, like about 500 milliampere extra than what we got with the 5.
The brighter screen and
the Pro XDR, which we didn't have. The slider is in there. We don't have video out, but we do have a beautiful display. Like, I mean, absolutely crazy. The gaming on this thing, the sound, the charging, a lot of really cool features.
Sure.
It behooves OnePlus to. I'll say this. I appreciate them pricing it where they did. I mean, the base model is $499, but obviously the one that you want to probably get is the $599 model because of the extra storage. But the reality is, with that, any kind of device, $100 bare minimum $100 trade-in, that phone is a $399 starting point phone, and nobody can compete in that market at that price point with the 8 Gen 2, with the I think was it the 989. We're talking about 5,500 milliampere, 80-watt charging. All of the features that you're getting with the OnePlus 12R it's a tough competition. And that's why, I felt like it's wiping away the mid-rangers because it just drops so low.
Sure. No, I agree. The 11 split the difference better. Yeah. The 12R exists to dominate a lower tier.
Yeah.
And so when the 11 came out, we would have to have kind of a nuanced conversation now saying like, well, do you want better companion camera sensors?
Of course,
because the extra sensors on the 12R are kind of crap. They're really not good. One of them should never exist on another phone ever again. The other one is just adequate.
We need to start a petition to make it so that the 2 megapixels are just out. Okay,
Just get rid of them.
Yeah, please give us. Yeah, just keep it. It's okay. Just don't worry.
There is no point. You have made the phone worse just by including. But that's what I mean. Like, I'm looking it up right now. The OnePlus 11 here in the United States, it says it's already out of stock. So I had a lot of people saying on my videos, like, well, why would I buy this when the OnePlus 11 exists? And you're like, well, it's still a cheaper phone. Like, it's still a less expensive phone for a similar performance, a similar spec sheet. And it does come with the perk of having the bigger battery and the brighter screen. Yep. But you can see that the 12R is now being positioned demonstrably as a lower tier product than the 11 was. The 11 was right on that border between mid-ranger and premium phone.
Yeah.
Like, it crossed over a lot, but it really shouldn't have been compared against proper $800 and above premium tier devices. It wasn't built to compete like that. So coming into the 12R, making this a more distinct thing, like, if you can still get your hands on a OnePlus 11 or you find stock on one, there is still a good reason. Like, you might want to sacrifice the screen brightness for similar performance and slightly less runtime out in the field if you want the better cameras. Yep. But again, it's like you've really got to go digging into the weeds now because the experiences are so similar between those two devices.
You have to be very specific. You're right. I feel like, the companion sensors that we have in here, they went back to the 16 megapixel on the front. They went with an 8. They went with the 2. You could see the tailoring. You could see where the price cut, where the cuts were done, and I feel like if you go in
on a phone with a good trade-in, like I've seen a few people saying, like, "Hey, I just picked up my 12R for just over $300." You're like, that is an insane amount of phone.
The $100 that I was saying was a bare minimum trade-in value.
Yeah, that just starts the trade-in.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I should have said that at the beginning. This was if you were trading in a broken phone, a phone in any shape. I
just kind of want to see, let's say I was feeling saucy and I wanted to say if you want to trade in
a 10 Pro, maybe. Let's say you're on a 10 Pro, or and you want to trade in a 10 Pro, go in. How much can you get the 12R for?
Although right now my browser is not letting. They might just not like Firefox. Come on. I might need to do this from something else here. Let me pull it up on my OnePlus 12, and we'll look it up there.
Oh, you should be able to do it on if you have their app, the OnePlus app on the phone. You should be able to jump in there.
Oh, I don't want to use apps. I've got this great browser on my phone. Hold on. All right, 12R.
But while you're doing that, I do want to say good evening to everybody. I see Juan Rito's with us. I see Aditya's in there. How you doing, Aditya? I see Simon says Hypno. I think I saw Farhan as well. Yep, Farhan's in there as well. Everybody hanging out with us on this beautiful, beautiful dry is the key word. Southern California evening, and Steve Fogg as well is in there. That is just crazy, man. Did you get the flood warnings last night again, or no?
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah.
I was like, I thought we were done. How did that come back?
And emergency evacuations and all that.
This is, oh my God. Yes, please. Yeah. Part of me is like, I don't want to say sarcastically saying that, you should feel for your friends in Southern California. No, guys, seriously, we are not built for this. And in many, many ways, our ground is so saturated right now. They're waiting right now for, they say within 2 to 3 days after the rain stops is where some of the mudslides happen. But yeah.
So again, now part of the problem is I was looking up the phone models. Mm-hmm. It sent me over to OnePlus Canada. I don't know why it does stuff like that. I mean, I don't have my VPN on. What? So anyway, so if you wanted to trade in a OnePlus 10 Pro, you'd get $260 for it.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, that would take you down to what, 250?
Let's round. Let's say 250. That's $250 off if you go with the base model, and if you go with the, again, the higher end model, you're down to what, 350 with the
Yeah.
buds, that's 450. You're still under 500, like considerably, and it is a substantial. Again, I understanding that the 10 Pro obviously may not be necessarily the best jumping off point, but let's say you're going from the 9 Pro or earlier, because the 10 Pro I still feel like it's feature packed.
So
It's the
OnePlus is really trying to keep it all in the family here, though. OnePlus 9, OnePlus 9 Pro,
okay.
and am I missing one? And OnePlus
There's 10, there's the
10 and OnePlus 10T
yeah,
are
10T.
all trading in over $200. So if you were kicking with like a OnePlus 9, you would also get a $260 trade-in credit towards that phone.
That's
A
a good one.
OnePlus 8 Pro, $230. So they took it back a ways. I
8
want to see
Pro.
just to see
Dude,
OnePlus
okay.
8, $180.
Okay.
OnePlus 7 Pro, $200.
7 Pro.
I got a OnePlus 7 Pro over on the shelf over there.
Frickin'
I almost feel
man.
like I need to just buy
Dude, I still
another
have the
12R.
OnePlus
I don't.
7 Pro from what is it called? Was this the Sprint the Sprint version phone?
Oh,
Remember?
dude, because that one doesn't work at all anymore. You can't use it on any carrier.
Yeah, like you can't. I mean, it's a phone. It boots.
Oh, you should totally, because they would never notice.
They
You
was
should
like,
totally trade that in and just
Oh,
get like. There's got to be a family member. You have a relative who needs
absolutely.
a good, just solid daily driver. You should totally do that.
Ah.
That would be hilarious.
I forgot about that. The 12 because
I just want to see.
Yeah, no.
Their other trade-in deals aren't great. They're not subsidizing nearly as heavily. So, for example, like they're not subsidizing nearly as heavy as Samsung is. If you wanted to trade in your OnePlus Open to get a new OnePlus Slab phone, you would only get $600 for it.
Oh wow.
That's not worth it at all. Like
I
go to
would-
Swappa.
No. I would keep my Open, my friend. Keep. the
Oh,
Open.
I would too. I'm saying like there was probably someone out there who took a chance on a foldable and it wasn't for them and they want to go back to a slab phone. That would be one of the worst deals they could pick up.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Trying to get back into a slab phone.
Absolutely, especially when with the cameras that you have on the 12 on the Open, like it's not even like that would be
Also,
a bigger loss
like-
than yeah.
Going to other companies and to other brands, like a Pixel 7 Pro at $370 is pretty good, but a Pixel 8 Pro for $480 is garbage. That's a garbage trade-in. You could definitely beat that selling your phone used. And then I just want to see what they do for Samsung. Galaxy Z Fold 5, $670. Woo! That's some good spending.
I will say this: Samsung wasn't giving that much more for their trade-ins on the 24.
I thought they were like at 800.
750. 750 was.
Oh, okay. But I mean,
majority-
like, still better than what? Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, again, look, the okay, I'll say this: the Open and the R are obviously different. They're same company, different families of products, but the
All right. You want to get mad?
sure,
You want to get mad?
sure.
Now, remember what we said for the Z Fold 5 and the Open,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
iPhone 14, not 15, iPhone 14 Pro Max, $750.
Wow.
Those dirty, dirty sons of women of ill repute. That's so dumb.
Yeah, I mean,
The iPhone 14 Pro, the little one, the little
Yeah.
Pro, 660. They're offering more for an iPhone 14 Pro than they are for their own foldable. Is dumb.
It's
Is super dumb. No iPhone is worth that much more than like an Open is so much more fun as a phone.
it is.
Don't-
It absolutely is.
don't do that.
I am having a really, really hard time taking the SIM card out of this phone because if I do, it goes back to it very quickly. It's
Yeah.
such a good productivity device. It's crazy good. And again, it has I have not lost the fun part of just enjoying content on the phone and the cameras, the performance.
My SIM card is back in the OnePlus 12 just because I'm kind of using this to now look at a couple comparisons that I want to do. I might do some write-ups and just some other focus pieces. And I'm doing that thing where I have a temporary, what do you call that? An eSIM.
I was about to say temporary lapse of judgment, but like, okay, wait.
Yeah, well, no, it was a temporary lapse of memory. We both have done like partnerships and collaborations with eSIM companies, and so I had some credit, and I just kind of keep picking up the open with one of these travel SIMs, but just here for the United States, and it's great. This is not how anyone is going to use phones, is like having like 3 different data lines just to kind of keep yourself connected. But I keep picking up the open just because it's so much more fun.
Yeah.
The OnePlus 12 is more powerful. The cameras are nice. All these things. It's all great. It's all great. It's great. It's a great phone. No. And the open is just keeps pulling me away. I'm doing something really messy where it's like, do I need a camera thing? I should pick up the Vivo. Am I really going to use it or get some work done or play some games? I'll pick up the Open. And then it's like, oh, the OnePlus 12, I need for comparisons and reviewing. It's not average consumer.
No, absolutely. Nobody's not at walking around with 2 slabs and a foldable for the sake of just basically saying, hey, I got work to do, man, and I got 2
slabs and a foldable. Where it's at.
Exactly. You're not going to be captain 3 phones. You're captain 2 phones and a foldable. No, look,
2 phones and a tablet
for 2024. The way they are setting it up right now, the chances are obviously of us getting a 3rd device this year is going to be pretty slim. As far as a slab phone, we're not talking about foldable. We don't really. There potentially could be a sequel to the Open with the Open 2 or something like that.
Electric Boogaloo.
The 12R, I think, is a solid recommendation. It's similar to what we've done in the past, where Qualcomm used to refabricate the 865 into the 870, and then we had the 865 Plus a while. You know what I mean? Like there's the whole. Yeah, you don't. SoCs don't die at the end of the calendar year or the end of the announcement.
Well,
like the moment they announce,
and not just don't die. The 8 Gen 2. Is going on the list. This is one of the most impressive chips I've ever seen from Qualcomm.
Even when it comes to AI, I want to make sure that people realize that a lot of the models that we saw last year at MWC, at IFA, or even at the year before in 2022 at Qualcomm Summit, were done on the 8 Gen 2. So yes, 8 Gen 3 may be built for AI. 8 Gen 2 is still very capable. It's just I guess, like I said, to me, it feels like a 11T more so than a 12R, but because they released it at the beginning of this year, so they're going to continue with it. I think it's a good combo. You get the non-Pro 12, which has all the bells and whistles and all the camera experiences and everything that you want, the great companion sensors.
But this kind of goes back to the same argument that I made during my OnePlus 12 video.
Okay.
Where OnePlus is looking at their strategic pain points where Samsung and Apple don't have a response.
Okay.
Apple does not have a response at $500. They don't. You've got to go up to an iPhone 13 to even somewhat do battle with the 12R. Because below that, it's iPhone SE, which an iPhone SE at $480 is a terrible buy. There is no redeeming value to a phone like that in this era. No feature, no spec, no experience is worth blue bubbles.
But what about an SE paired with an Vision Pro? Like you go with the low price there, and then you just add that Vision Pro. Then you got that.
You're right. You're right. So $4,000 before taxes.
Yeah.
Would be pretty fancy.
Okay.
So I think you're onto something there.
I see. Totally, I'm trying to lead you, but there is a path to greatness there. You have to find the right
For
Apple
sure.
tools
But
to
but
get
that's
you
that's
to
why I
that
but that's why I
Valhalla
don't
right
think
there.
we just kept the 11 around. I
Yeah.
was thinking, what you could do is you could keep the 11 around and then release the 12, and the 11 is the cheap phone just because it's older. But
Yeah.
OnePlus did make the 12R a step down. That's why I don't feel it feels like a T to me.
Well,
It
okay.
feels like
The T
like
typically
an
doesn't
even
carry.
more.
Well, no, yeah, absolutely. It's even more of a budget. Sorry, it's even more tailored down to reduce the price.
Mhm.
I agree. The T typically would have probably had similar, or at least better sensors. At least the companion ultra wide, maybe not the telephoto, or if it
Or
didn't even have a telephoto. I think if I'm not
if you're
mistaken,
if
it
you're
was
if you're
just
trying to keep like competitive photography, like for example, like in Xiaomi land, what we'll
Mhm.
see instead is like, hey, we've got Samsung sensors instead of Sony sensors, but they're similar sensor sizes and resolutions and things like that. But the big cost savings was moving over to a MediaTek chip instead of using a Qualcomm chip.
yeah.
So like what we got with the 13T last year was actually a really well featured phone, powerful and competitive. It's just you look at that versus the Xiaomi 13, and yeah, okay, I can see where they're making some subtle
Some of the
compromises. I
tailor,
don't
yeah,
feel like the
exactly.
12R is a subtle compromise. I feel like where it's lesser than the 11, it is more tangibly felt lesser than. It's more apparent. But it's coming in and doing battle against a Samsung A54,
Hmm.
like
Oh,
that's not a hard fight for OnePlus to
I was about to
win
say that is no,
pretty
but
well.
I
And then you have to climb up to an FE for Samsung to start competing, and that's
I
another
know.
$100 more. It's literally like depending on what sale or what price you get, it could be 25 to 30% more just for Samsung to not lose as bad.
It it is absolutely what I will also just maybe just as a final note on that part. I also feel like somebody that had the 11 or the Pro series from previous years wouldn't necessarily wouldn't upgrade to that. They probably would be more eyeing towards the 12 and the 12 features that we get. The reason
Right.
behind the 12R's presence is that now it's no longer just a Nord game for them. Now they have a competitor that's the OnePlus side of not the Nord
Mm-hmm.
side that's competing and provides a solution for people that let's say, look, I like what OnePlus is doing. I like their displays. I like their battery life. I like all of that stuff. I just don't have as much money to spend, and this is what I'd like to do with this
Sure.
trade-in that I have. It makes perfect sense. It's a
Oh,
good, compelling conversation. But
yeah, I'm with you because
yeah,
to
yeah,
me this again I think we're totally in agreement on
no,
this
no,
right here, and it
absolutely.
helps me because like I will pat myself on the back for having been correct. I was like being right, it's the easiest way to stroke my ego.
I've never known you to be a person to gloat, but no, please continue.
No, yeah, no. I'm quite humble. You'll find.
Very much.
Um, I have been trying. We've had similar conversations in our respective reviews and videos. I've been trying to get the point across to more of my family and friends.
Yeah.
If you are not interested in trying to push your phone harder, don't go spend the money on an upgrade when your phone is totally dying and there's just no hope for it left. Like you can't like just pop in a new battery at like a repair shop and have it come back.
Hmm.
When you really do need to move on, try to stick as close to the current tier of compute power that you have, and you should be able to buy that for a lot less today. So like if your phone's getting on 3 years old, look at what's a comparable mid-ranger that's performing similarly.
Hmm.
And I'm not getting new bells and whistles. I'm not getting all of this exciting new stuff, but you're still kind of getting an upgrade, but you should be able to save a lot of money. When I look at like my mom, she still has a OnePlus 6T.
Yeah, we got to talk to your mom, man. We got to.
No, no, see, but it's like a badge of honor, though. It's like I am
Yeah.
keeping this phone running. She's ready. This year is going to be the year where she finally flips it.
Hmm.
But now, I'm not so sure Pixel's the way to go. I think she might be in line for something like a 12R,
Hmm.
where you won't get as long a software support as if she picked up a Pixel 8,
Hmm.
but It is a faster, more powerful,
Oh, like
and
light
more
years
power
faster
efficient
than
device.
exactly. Yeah. No.
So if she wants to ride that out, and obviously, like she's pretty well able to handle herself and keeping her gadgets in check. She's still running a OnePlus 6T. She's not flashing ROMs and stuff. She's just not doing stupid stuff and like clicking on links and sideloading unknown APKs and things. Like she's got a good handle on her data security.
Mhm.
She could ride something like an 8 Gen 2. I think in terms of hardware, that's a pretty tough fight for a Tensor 3.
Yeah.
I
Right,
think
right now
the
it's
8 Gen
still
2 is still going to age more gracefully over the next several years.
from where she is and where it's going with with OnePlus and over the years usage, it would. I mean, just for me, it just sounds like more of a natural transition to another 12. Like the 12R would definitely make that experience better because of the improvements that she'll get over the years, not just from the camera experience. Even though it has a like one main good camera in the back, it would still fit into what she's trying to do, because I feel like if
Mm-hmm.
she was comfortable with the 6T, and over the years the improvements and the everything that OnePlus has been doing with Color OS and Oxygen OS improvements and the Pro XDR, we have the battery, the charging speeds, everything is crazy now. It's absolutely going to be a very refreshing upgrade. And I actually, yeah, I probably will recommend a lot more into 12R than probably say, like just for what you're looking for. You just need to figure out exactly what you need. If you're really, really wanting really good camera setup that goes all around with the main sensors and everything else in there, I feel like the 12 makes a compelling recommendation.
Yeah.
But if
And
you're
12
not
and
going to be
Pixel
rock,
are
yeah,
really great
and
choices,
and
but
if
if
you're
you're
going to
not
be,
pushing
yeah,
that,
no, there's no
and
reason.
also it is still a part of this where, I mean, I want to tell people, like, you're not doing a whole lot on your phone, but you know, you can get a OnePlus 12R for like $300. That used to be territory that was like vomitously bad.
No,
Like
but
that used
that's
to
what I'm
be the
saying.
worst kind of light phones,
It makes budget
and
and mid-rangers, it puts some of them to shame. It's
puts a
hard.
lot of hurt on them. And
Yeah.
so now I can rightfully point to that and say, I know you don't think you want to try and do stuff like this on your phone.
Yeah.
Like maybe you're not that interested in firing up CapCut and stitching a couple video clips together. But I'm telling you, you have a supercomputer in your pocket, one of the best chips that Qualcomm has ever made in the history of the company. It is punching, I mean, again, however much faith you put into synthetic benchmarking, it is punching really close to like a 12th gen Core i5. Only a 12th gen Core i5 can be like a 40-watt part. Whereas this phone, the entire phone, needs to operate at like under 10 watts. So if you're a nerd, those numbers should be very exciting for you to pick up at $300. But even if you don't think you're interested in this kind of stuff,
Mhm.
you now have a platform where you could try.
Yeah.
And that's enough for a lot of people. I know so many people in my circles of family and friends, they will never try, but they do feel good knowing that they could if they wanted to at some point. And that again is like, I can't have that same conversation with an A54. An A54 is a very good long battery life, mid-rangery kind of experience. It is not a flagship killer. I don't sell people on an A54 with the promise that you could drive this a lot harder than you think you can. A OnePlus 12R, I can go to that person and say, you can drive this so much harder. This phone is so much more capable
Exactly.
than what you're probably using right now.
And again, I'm glad. This is why when I was thinking like about it, if they were to release the watch soon, they could have just had everything done together. But they got, at the end of the day,
Nah.
the R and the Buds, I feel like are a match made in heaven. The 12 and the Pros 2 that we had last year are also a really good pair. And if you had to kind of combine the two, they kind of go along. Although you're more than welcome to take the Pros down to the R. It's a question more of a personal preference and how you want to use the Buds. But the setup, what we have, the performance that we have, you can't go wrong with OnePlus in 2024 at this point. We've been seeing a major shift since the Open. The Open it opened, for no pun intended, but it opened up a new wave for OnePlus to
It
to try to
opened the
go back.
door.
It opened
Yep.
the door to kind of go back into that premium experience that we've loved OnePlus in. I call them the heydays, but essentially it's like what we reach with that Pinnacle 10 Pro. The 10 Pro features and functions everything that we've been building up to. OnePlus was known for adding small features every year, maybe slight price increase, but it was always an incremental improvement over every year. The 10 Pro reached a peak. The 11 course corrected. The 12 brought us back. So it's kind of like that adjustment. So I feel like the 12 and the 12R are very compelling, and whichever one you go with, you're definitely, as long as your budget's able to afford it and you're feeding into it that way, you're not going to be disappointed. And I feel like this is why I'm like, kudos for them at this point, and hopefully, the Best Buy.
It's exactly the
conversation
kind of
opens up more eyes.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I want to see people at least have something that we can point them to and say, hey, there's a place where you can go and just check these things out. Because along with everything that you're saying, this has been such a strong year for OnePlus, because I think they are back on a strategy that has worked better for them on other devices. Like, I keep holding up the OnePlus 9 Pro as an example of peak OnePlus. I know so many people say like, oh, they've been blah, blah, blah since the 7 Pro. Guys, the 7 Pro was cool. The OnePlus 9 Pro was better in every way and a better targeted competitor against the phones of its era. And that's where I think OnePlus is back. The OnePlus 12 is legit brutalizing the Galaxy S24 Plus, and OnePlus is undercutting the price. The OnePlus 12 is brutalizing the iPhone 15 Plus, and OnePlus is undercutting the price. If the phones were the same price, this would still be a win for the OnePlus.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like, for all the people that have said, oh, OnePlus has lost their way, they found it. The OnePlus Open is brutalizing other foldables and undercutting their price. It's like, if the OnePlus Open was the same price as my Pixel Fold or as your Z Fold, I still think I would like the OnePlus Open better, but I don't even have to worry about would I, because it is cheaper.
It is, yeah. No, peace. I'm with you. It's a yeah. And again, kudos to the team, to everything being done, and the strategies that they're putting together with the price points. Yeah.
Before we move on, before we leave OnePlus, we did get one question here.
Sure.
Where I just lost it. Who did it? Was it Steve? Oh, Nick Gay. Does guys, does the 12R push the Nord down a tier? And how does the Nord or 12R compare with a Pixel A series?
Oh, man.
So you've had more experience with Nords. I actually haven't played with a Nord over the last couple of years. Do you think that this is going to change up the price position? Because Nord feels like a whole separate company at this point.
It is a whole separate company, and actually it still is in carrier stores. That's the other kind of relationship. It's kind of a weird, like where OnePlus kind of dropped out of the relationship with the carriers, the Nord never left. It's there. It's in the corner somewhere.
Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah, it's exactly, man. I've always been here. So what I would probably say, if we had to kind of look at them in an architecture or order of devices, I don't think it pushes the Nord down, because the Nord still lives around that $200 to $300, maybe $350 price point at full MSRP. So and you never find them at full MSRP. They're always on sale. So the reality is, I feel like Nord is going to be more of the super affordable functional solutions for people looking to spend as least as possible, but still get great devices, especially the N300. Where the 12R fits in that middle area. It is a more direct competitor to the 7A, I feel like, than it is to the Nord. By comparison between the two, don't get me wrong, computational photography aside, because we have to kind of keep things apples to apples. Google will always win on computational. It's absolutely baked into their products. It's going to be there. I mean, heck, they just killed Bard this morning, and they brought in Gemini. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of bummed me out a little bit. And if you do install Gemini on your phone, it takes over your assistant. So I think it's a more of a direct competitor, price point to price point. although the 7A may be a little bit cheaper, I still would recommend the 12R at that price point because of all of the functions that you get with it. As a package, the 12R I feel like presents better. Good images from the main sensor on the back, great battery, large display, functional options that are your daily usage. Again, you want to create content and you want to cut edits and do things. It works better with a larger display. It works great with the 120 hertz refresh rate display. Gaming, charging. There's so much more to kind of put into it. Not to take away from the 7A. If you're a Pixel fan, 7A is a great option. But if you put them together, I feel like the 12R it kind of takes that lead with what it can do for how much money you're spending for it, even at the $499 retail price. And it isn't going to be there. You'll be able to get it even a little bit less than that. And Pixel 7a still has its own spot, but I feel like the 12R is a better choice.
I think the interesting fight is going to be when we finally get to see what Google does with 8A.
Yes.
Because I think Pixel 7a is going to win most consumer camera conversations.
Yeah.
I feel like Google's image processing is really just kind of indomitable right now when it comes to that take phone out of pocket, push shutter button on your lunch, share to Instagram.
Close eyes, double press, snap image.
I know. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I might not even tap to focus.
No.
Google has that on lock. It's
Gemini
really,
knows
really
what
good.
You're trying to. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, not Gemini. Yeah, soon. That's a conversation we should probably also touch on at some point.
For sure. But for everything else you were saying, I think the 12R is the better device. The concern I'm gonna have is Google going to try and keep the A series consistent with their mainline phones for support.
Oh,
because if they extend support, if they go 7 years, if they do that across the board, that has to come with some kind of price bump. I don't think it's going to be a full $100 price bump like we saw on the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro.
Okay.
But that has always come with some kind of price hike. So this really changes up the conversation. You're getting, if we get 7 years of official support for a Pixel 8A, and we're only going to get like 3 years of operating system and 4 years of security patches for a 12R. But the 12R has hardware that I think will last longer in the grand scheme of things. Like, that is a very complicated showdown. Like, it is really difficult trying to weigh all of our options and see which one would really be better for someone. But right now, just as it stands, like, Pixel 7a is great. I think it is a phenomenal performer. I think most people would prefer the camera output and everything else. I think they would like the 12R better.
Yeah, no, that hopefully that kind of got you the answer, Nick, that you're looking for. That kind of directs it there. I think the Nord still stands on its own. You have to think of them as a separate company. It is OnePlus, but it truly is managed as a very different company.
And especially right now, because like they're selling without any other sale or trade-in, they're selling at like $250.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even MSRP, they're still way lower. So it's really more of the budget series. That's what the Nord is. Nord is for budget, where the R now is kind of monopolizing the mid-range. I feel like it does a good job.
Or, and I think a DTNL has the right idea here, or just don't be poor and go buy an Apple Vision Pro, which is clearly superior. So your phone doesn't have an M2 processor in it. So.
Actually, I'm wondering, and okay, I'll say this. Tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, is the cutoff time for some people to be able to return their Vision Pros. I'll be interested to see how many people suddenly stop posting about the Vision Pros.
Did you see the post? Like T-Pain was like, I'm going to be walking into every room now with this thing on my face. And I want to know what the Vegas odds are. How long will it be before we see a post with T-Pain not wearing his Vision Pro? I don't think it's going to be that long. I think it'll be maybe 2 weeks.
Look,
and then after that,
I think that I feel like, okay, look, the Vision Pro is a dev kit. We need to stop referring to it as a product.
No. T-Pain said he's going to wear it all the time. It's T-Pain.
No, I'm with you.
TK, he knows what's up.
He's on the motherfucking boat. I got it. Yes, I know. He was on the boat. I remember T-Pain. We were there. No. Don't get me wrong. Look, I get it. And the amount of memes that I've seen on social media the last week or so of people going to coffee shops, sitting on trains, driving cars, walking in the street and pinching.
Do you watch any morning news?
No, unfortunately, I'm at work.
Because you're like our good friend. We have a friend who works at Good Day LA.
Oh yeah, Rich DeMuro.
No. Rich DeMuro is KTLA.
Oh, KTLA. I'm sorry. We're talking about. Sorry.
Good Day LA is Shaka. Anyway, so Marie watches Good Day LA in the mornings, and the anchors are talking about that video of someone driving the Cybertruck while like pinching and doing stupid Minority Report hand gestures. And the anchor goes off. And I was so upset that I couldn't rewind because we weren't watching it on TV. She was watching it on her phone, and I couldn't like backtrack on the video stream of Good Day LA. So one of the anchors turns is like, wait a minute, you can drive while wearing the Vision Pro? And the other anchor, she just like tears in. You shouldn't. And at some point she calls them. She says, but some people are with these stupid glasses. Oh. And like, she's full mask off. She is like, this is stupid. It's making people sick. Now idiots are doing dumb things with it. And it was just like this behind the curtain look. This is how other people see this tech enthusiast industry. A bunch of stupid nerds are now doing dangerous crap because someone said this would be cool, and I think this is stupid. She literally called an Apple product those stupid glasses on live local news, and it was chef's kiss. Just, I mean, not that I'm hoping Apple's going to fail, because unfortunately that's still going to be bad for VR, but it was just like her real feelings. Without the pressure of Apple's boot on the channel's neck for monetizing their content, she told us how she really felt. It was a glorious thing to behold.
I think anybody that saw the video of that person driving a Cybertruck with the glasses on,
Glasshole Pro Max.
Yeah, and should also probably look a little bit more online, because there's a separate video showcasing that person being arrested. But that's just a different conversation, because they got stopped. I don't know the reality, obviously, if somebody did or did not. But what I will say is this: Vision Pro has we're in the honeymoon phase right now. Everybody's in the honeymoon phase. Everybody's talking about building muscle, neck muscle, and all that good stuff. I'm like, if it fits what you need and your wallet is able to handle it, do you? I'm not going to try to knock people, because obviously some people did. I mean, some of our friends have picked up the device and they are using it. My concern would be, at the end of the day, is when we take a dev. This is what happened back in the day when Nexus used to be a device. Nexus was designed initially for developers. It was never designed to be sold as a mass production type of thing. And people started to buy Nexus because they realized they were getting great hardware for cheaper pricing than just going for the flagship at the time. And then Google picked up on it, like, oh, wait a minute, maybe we should make a phone. So then, obviously Pixel. Look, here the headset functionalities and what you're able to do are great. You shouldn't jeopardize your field of view when you're driving. You should never ever put anything on your face that can turn off when you're driving. If the battery shorts or something, and suddenly you're jeopardizing other people's lives. Not only just yours, but I'm saying also other people with a vehicle. As smart as Cybertruck is, it's still a vehicle that is handled by the person. So those things, that they make me cringe. It may have gotten chuckle here and there, but at the end of the day, Apple should stand and say, look, you should not be using our products in this manner and jeopardizing security. But Apple's not, because Apple's like, hey man, I'm getting free publicity right now. Yeah. People are doing stuff.
Or I'm sure if we go to apple.com and then we go through like the health and safety disclaimers, there's probably something there.
Yeah.
Hey guys, don't do that. Okay, bye.
Do not operate heavy machinery. Do not get. do not operate Cybertruck, specifically the Cybertruck.
Right. Do not taunt Happy Fun Ball. I get it. Sure. No, it really has been kind of a hilarious aspect of this tech commentary right now. Someone else was it what's the name of that really funny YouTube channel? They always like mock like press events. Is it Sam?
It's not
Sam Time? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Oh, I thought you were talking about,
because they did a video like Microsoft's reaction to the Vision Pro, and it's someone pretending to be like a HoloLens executive going, "We did this all like 5 years ago, guys. Everything you're doing now, we did better 5 years ago."
But yeah,
but it's just that kind of joking satire kind of look at it.
No, absolutely. And I think, like I said, we'll see how things change by next week. I think as things kind of start to progressively start getting more and more MWC-ish or more leading up to MWC. So,
well, I'm sure we're going to see all of those Vision Pro users shooting their spatial video. Because 3D video is all the rage, right? 3D TV.
Now I'm wondering how many people are going to go to MWC, walk around the show floor wearing those stats. Because Barcelona,
think about all the people that shot their Ray-Ban video, and now they're going to have to shoot all their video on Vision Pro. I mean, they have to.
Well, of course.
3D TV is the biggest deal in the world of tech.
In 2026, 2006, right? Or 2007?
No, it never went away. 3D video. That's where it's at, TK.
Oh, no, video. Yeah, I thought you meant like...
We built glasses just to shoot fancy 3D video.
We'll
I've seen people on threads are saying, like, I didn't get all the hype, but now that I've shot 3D video from my Vision Pro, this is the only way that we'll consume video in the future, is because 3D video is such a big deal.
We're not at the Ready Player One level yet. I know we would
the full dystopia?
The full dystopia with the suit, with the, going into the back of the, the Volkswagen minivan. And like, no, I'm with you.
Oh, yeah. That was the best part.
Got to find the precious. No. Look, we'll have to see how things kind of progress. I'm interested to see what Apple will do in a year or two when they actually do release their final actual product as it is intended to be. I think Vision Pro has its limitations into sense of what it can do right now, because again, it was designed for developers to pick up. And I just, again, like, I don't want to.
I'm disappointed I'm disappointed because you're right. I'm disappointed because I feel like Apple is leading a conversation trying to make this sound like it is a consumer ready.
Yeah.
It is not a consumer ready product, and I'm very disappointed.
Yeah.
I'll wrap at this point because then I'd like to shift and just talk about like some headphones, and we can kind of close out the show this week.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed in some of our friends who have said things in some reviews like, well, I'm holding a less popular phone, so I couldn't possibly talk about what this device might be after an update. I have to tell you what it was like to use it right now, and that's what my review is. And then to turn around and say, oh, but this $3,500 mixed reality headset dev kit, just think of the future of what this thing will be able to do once Apple polishes it up, once Apple releases better software for it, and once developers start making apps for it. And that's not okay. That's not okay. If you're going to extend that forward, future-looking experience to a product like Vision Pro, then we should never, ever hear about reviews that are done on under embargo software. That should never happen, because you should be looking at what the future of that device is going to look like after it gets updates and stuff. There is nothing to do on a Vision Pro right now. There is a whole ecosystem of HTC and Steam VR and Meta software that's available for each of those platforms. I mean, even now, like the cross collaboration with Steam VR and Meta is pretty interesting. If you're looking at a headset that costs 1/7 the price, you will spend a lot less, and have so much more that you can really do with it when you get that less expensive headset. So that to me is like the last galling piece of this, where it's an obvious inequity where Apple got them more money to put Apple and Vision Pro in the title of their video, and now they're finding that but there's just so much promise. You should buy this because you're into the future of what this is going to be like. No, you can miss me with that. That's shilling. That's a very bad look.
I'm with you. I'm with you. But you know what you can't miss me with is a brand new pair of Puro headphones. I feel like that's the best way to kind of.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. No.
Heck yeah. Look at new color. Also,
nice.
Look at these bad boys in purple.
Wait a minute. Do I sense a young lady getting a brand new pair of beautifully designed headphones?
Heck yes. So these are the new PuroQuiet Plus. Okay. These are little kid headphones.
Yeah.
I'm putting these up. These are some of the nicest headphones you can buy for a kid. They are not cheap. Retail on this, I think, is going to be around 140 somewhere in there.
Puro is usually around. Yeah, they
have other options, and they have cabled headsets and stuff like that too. But this is the full Bluetooth small ear cup for smaller ears, so that it's smaller headband. I can barely get these around my big old fat head, but Bluetooth, aptX HD support.
Wow.
So not the newer aptX adaptive, but aptX HD, so you do get better support for higher quality playback and a surprisingly good active noise cancellation. It's a little on the hissy side. There is some air to the ANC, but it is very aggressive at blocking like airplane engine style droning noise.
Yeah.
And so the other big updates for this year, we're finally using USB-C instead of micro USB.
Yay!
Hallelujah. And also this
24, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. 2020. And the USB-C can also daisy chain. So like if you have two kids and they each have a pair of Puros, you can connect one headset to the audio source over cable or Bluetooth, and then this headset will feed audio to a second Puro headset,
especially for kids,
which is pretty cool.
Obviously,
if they have siblings, yeah, exactly.
Nice. I like the setup. These are more on ear though, right? They look like more on ear than over ear for.
So no, it's kind of splitting the difference. These headphones are kind of supposed to age through. If you have a little kid, like we got this exact same model, but the older generation that had the micro USB. We've had them for so long that these were kind of over ear headphones for Lex.
Okay.
So I think we got them when she was like 5.
Okay.
So these little ear cups did kind of go around her ear, but now that she's 8, it's turning into an on-ear
experience
headphone that kind of closes the ear up by kind of sticking to the outer section of the ear instead of covering the ear. But that's kind of what's cool about these, is that they're built well enough that you can keep them around. So Lex has been totally responsible for taking care of her headphones.
That's good.
She has the case, she has the cables. If she wants to use them, she has to charge them. There have been a few times where like, hey, we've got to get going, and her headphones weren't charged and she was really upset, and then she learns not to let that happen again. But going on almost 3 years with a little kid banging these headphones around, like she doesn't know how to take care of gadgets. They have survived phenomenally well. Like nice. They are still functional. They still hold a charge. There's scratches all over them, like on the metal, on the outer ear cups and stuff. Of course,
yeah, that goes wear and tear, normal usage.
But it's wear and tear. It's not like she broke them or killed them or anything like that. So when I'm done with the video, Lex is going to get a little upgrade to the newer headset. But it's great because now we do have like a backup headphone for her. Sound quality is really good. It's a little bit of a spike in the mids. It's a little highs lean. Like it rolls off the highs a little more than I would like. But it's a really good clarity
Does it still feature the sound limiter, the audio?
Oh yeah,
audio
yeah.
limiter?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's a major part of Puro.
I was about to say, yeah, that's like the biggest
These
thing about
headphones
it.
won't let you go over 85 dB.
Good.
So at max volume, it's a little uncomfortable for me. But like on a lot of my other nicer headphones, like I'm down at like 30% max volume. These I'm at like a 60. You know, like I'm at 2/3 of what their peak output can be. But it is a very, very aggressive stop point where the kid can't turn it up past that point. And even on Lex, like Lex, we've talked to her a lot about like, don't, cover your ears if something is too loud. It's okay, protect your hearing. I want to say on her headphones, she's rarely above halfway.
That's good.
And that's one of the great things is like we fall into this trap where it feels like kids and old people, they don't need good tech. Let's give them garbage. It's cheap. They're not going to appreciate nicer things, so they get junk. Think about all of those phones that we kind of pitch at old people and are like radically underpowered processors that stutter and skip and like terrible screens. And you're like, yeah, they don't want to use that. Even if they're not doing like supercomputer laptop projects on their phone, they don't.
Be smooth. You want it to be good.
Yeah,
exactly.
You still want it to be accessible. And the same thing, like think of all of those little kid headphones that have like Disney princesses on them, but they're totally hollow plastic garbage that don't protect their hearing, don't block out noise, the tinny, poor audio reproduction.
Most
and you're
of
like,
the money
yeah, I
was spent
spent
on licensing. Yeah, exactly.
It was just licensing in
It was a
cheap
li-
plastic made in a sweatshop in China. Absolutely. So
and overpriced.
my daughter.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and like we and it was like an emergency. We had forgotten to bring. I had these other like on-ear headphones, the old Nokias that I used to let Lex use before we got these Puros. I forgot to bring them, and so we're in an airport, and we buy some of these little kid headphones, and like the second I put them on my ear, it's like I can still hear everything around me. You would never use this on an airplane because you'd have to turn the volume up so high just to hear anything, and then when you do, it's just nothing but distortion and garbage sound quality. It's so terrible. So anyway, letting her kind of manage her own nicer headphone, she's kind of building an appreciation for audio. Like I've put ribbons and planar magnetic headphones on her, and she starts talking about, oh, that sounds different. Mm-hmm. She's not detailing audiophile, emotional, words for how we appreciate music, but without me prompting her, she can hear, oh, this sounds a little different, or this is doing something different, or oh, the song I know doesn't usually sound like that. It's like she's already becoming literate in appreciating these sort of quality differences in audio products. And it's a lot. This is an expensive headphone to give a kid. $130, $140, somewhere in that price range. That is not a casual buy. But if you can use that as the educational opportunity to empower a kid to take care of something of their own, to learn how to handle an electronic, and to like get a better listening experience than what we usually give a kid, I think it's well worth the money. If you're looking at it as being like, this could be a 3-year kind of product.
Yeah.
Like, I think your dollar per year works out really well. And hopefully it gets your kid into entertainment or music, or they start, like building their own appreciation for the stuff that they like. I think that could be a really fun dynamic for a lot of families to explore.
I'm glad. And again, I'm personally a big fan. We used the Puro ones that we had for the duration, actually up to the point where Omar basically destroyed the headphone jack on it because he likes using the headphone jack so much on his phone, on the PC, and the F5 when he was, we had the F5, he was playing with that. It's a functional option that he likes, but he just never took care of the fact that it's a connector and it has a certain give. At some point, it's just going to give. And he would put the phone in his pocket and always kind of walk around and puts it and changes it. So,
yeah.
But I got him on another better, more reinforced connector, that type of headset. But I'm glad that Pure is still doing the way they're doing it. And the only thing I don't remember though is, do they actually have an app, or do they not, or is everything just on device? It's on device, right? Yeah.
It's on device. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the one we reviewed last time was a wired one, so I assumed there would be no app, but I was wondering with the Bluetooth.
Yeah. Same here. And in a way, I wish there were maybe like other things that I could control or put harder limits on. But on the other, I'm kind of glad that there's no like grown-up mode, unlock another 20 decibels of audio, because
I like that. It'll be in the it'll be the first
right?
button she pushes. You're like, hey,
boop.
Yeah.
Because I also feel like this is one of those things where if you can kind of train younger when your ears are your most sensitive, and you can establish kind of a lower threshold, and then you can back it up, because with ANC, you should be able to listen quieter and still have a full appreciation for the sound that you're listening to.
Yeah.
That hopefully you don't get to like when I was in my 20s, and I was definitely like cranking audio a lot higher than I probably needed to, but it sounded good. You know, like you can get away from that being the experience that's more satisfying. If you can appreciate the nuance, the color, the tone, the articulation, the detail, the color, the warmth, all of these other things that go into higher quality audio, and you can start having an appreciation for that at like 9, then you're not sitting there going, I just want it to be louder and more bass. You know, like you can get away from it. And so that's kind of what I like. There's an idea where maybe that could have been cool, like an expansion in that, but I don't really feel it brings much of a benefit, and I think it would just be immediately abused by kids figuring out, oh, I can make this like super loud, and then it defeats the purpose of having a kid headphone if it's just going to destroy their hearing.
No, I agree, and I think this is the nice thing is that it's built in. It's a purposely built device. It's a piece of tech that it's intended to give to the right customer, and I agree. I think that's one of the biggest things I appreciate about having that pair. Even if when it was wired, it was already built into there, and having it now is also as well.
Yeah, JGJ just wrote, at least we know daughter Bagnell is not getting beats. Lex prefers my Odyssey over my Cineaptics. She doesn't like that the Cineaptics get buzzier. She likes that the Odyssey seem more mellow and have a nicer sound to
It also
her
depends on
ears.
the music she's listening to. I don't think she's getting into Tool anytime in the near future, so we're fine. You know, maybe
Okay.
some Daft Punk or something like that. We'll have to see.
So we haven't broached Tool yet.
Okay.
Like she is such a sweet unicorn adventure princess rainbow fairy of a kid. I don't have the heart in me to like, hey kid, let's listen to Enema. You know, like flush it down is not the kind of attitude she has, but she is all over like Foo Fighters and Green Day and OK Go.
Okay.
But her female singer playlist is like all over the place. It's got like Dua Lipa into Poppy into it's just there are a lot of musical genres and stuff that she's already, again, she kind of has an appreciation for. She's not speaking about this like as articulately as like reviewers and critiquers would be doing, but she's already starting to plant her flag on, this is a tone or this is a sound that I really like. And one of the things that she's early gravitated towards is that sort of low-key, smooth electronica bump like you'd get from someone like Lorde. She came to that all on her own. So like Taylor Swift, she loves Taylor Swift. She loves the Taylor Swift songs that groove and have that kind of more electronica bump to them than like the more like singer-songwriter-y kind of thing. So you have a real good headphone and a really clear, detailed, articulate headphone, you're getting a lot of those electronic-y bits. She doesn't like them when they get buzzier. So the ribbon headphone, no, she doesn't really like the sound of the ribbon headphone.
It's, you know,
I love it so much.
The beauty is that she has she has a taste and a flavor that she prefers, and I think that's the biggest part about that. But the most important question is this, and maybe I missed it already or not. When is that video dropping so that we can, daughter Bagnell can actually jump on top of that?
So this weekend, I'm going to ask her if she would like to record, not like on camera, but I might put her in front of a microphone and just say like, well, what do you like about these headphones?
Okay.
And that might be a part of the video. I'm hoping the video can go up early next week. So
Okay. That's a good collaboration. I feel like if there was one way to get Lex to participate and be part of the creative concept on there, I think that should be a good one. Especially with a product made this specifically, it was intended for her, really.
Well,
we know
she's clocked so much listening time on the first generation. Like, I can speak knowledgeably about having sort of bent these to my skull, like stretched them out a little bit. I've got to like bend the headband back so they fit her properly. But she's got years of real world practical usage on these things. And so if she wants, she might decide that she's not comfortable with the idea, and I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to try and make her be on a video if she doesn't want to be. But if she decides that she wants to contribute, I think it could be kind of interesting. An 8-year-old sharing some thoughts and talking about what songs she likes to listen to and what these headphones sound like. I think I don't know. It's like, I think
that's what the people would like to listen to.
Not a grown-up reviewing it. Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what most parents do. Like, they're trying to buy it and they're wondering how their kids would like it, and they're trying to make their best assessment and best guesses onto it. But at the end of the day, you're right. It's still the kid puts it on and starts listening to music. You really don't know the answer because your experience, your music education is very different than their experience. At least their repertoire is very. I would probably say, although she may have a lot of hours, I feel like it's still not as much profound or maybe as wide of a field of experiences as yours, but it's still really nice to be able to see where she's able to articulate what she likes and that she can identify some differences when things are present, that it's not just all just sound. You know what I mean?
And lastly is that idea for parents.
Yeah.
Is like, I think if you start your kids off a little slower, like think about all of the peers parents near our age where they've got kids that are not very good at taking care of things like phones.
Yeah.
But they were just sort of thrust directly into phones, right? All of their peers got a phone. The parents go, okay, I guess it's time to get them a phone. They get them a phone and they're like, oh, I broke my phone. What happened? I don't know. Like that really obnoxious kid thing. But there are a couple kids out there that you can kind of see have grown up with like staged introductions to technology. And for Lex, it was taking care of a little MP3 player. And then she got a smartwatch. And then we got her really nice headphones. And we got to take care of our really nice headphones. And like, it's kind of empowered her. She doesn't treat this stuff like it's disposable.
Exactly.
Like,
as
it's hers.
Yeah, exactly.
And she takes pride in the fact that it's her stuff. These aren't daddy's headphones. These aren't mommy's headphones. These are my headphones. Where are my headphones? I need to charge my headphones. Like she has unplugged like Marie's gear so that she could plug in a USB cable so she could charge her headphones. And I think it gives them a much better understanding of like, kind of like getting into the responsibility of this stuff. And it's so easy to celebrate the win. Like a $30 MP3 player, that lasted her a really long time. That was so easy to celebrate that as like, we got well more than our $30 out of that silly little gadget, but she felt so good about taking care of her thing. So I just don't want to overlook something that I think can be a great strategy for other parents to try is build up to those bigger tech moments. Don't just like throw your kid into the deep end. Just like, okay, well, now you got a phone. You're like, oh man, I see so many kids are going to get themselves into trouble with that.
No, I'm with you. So that's going to be for early next week. Anything going on there by the end of this weekend, or are you any articles? Or
don't know if I'm going to get another video out. I did a reaction video that went live this morning. I don't like doing reaction videos, but the guys over at Petapixel, they make my favorite photography conversation. they have a podcast. Every week is a must download for me. And this is Chris and Jordan have been just kind of staples of my camera enthusiast YouTube for years.
Okay.
They were formerly at DP Review, and before that they were at the Camera Store. And they just have a great camaraderie. And as soon as you get them talking about like lenses and tech support and troubleshooting and like, what does this mean for this kind of feature, or how do you incorporate this into your workflow, you can just see immediately like they're goofy dudes, but they know WTF they're talking about. You know, like they're tactical. I feel they have an incredibly massive blind spot when it comes to smartphone cameras.
Okay.
And I feel a lot of photography guys fall into this trap where I've got a real nice camera, so whatever garbage is on a phone, I just don't even care. And then you miss all of the exciting new things that are happening in phones. And so they recently did a podcast talking about the Samsung Unpacked event and their experiences, like, you know, talking about AI and software and processing on the S24 Ultra. And the conversation has so many holes in it that I felt I needed to respond. Like, no one asked me. It wasn't like an open question to their audience, like, what do you think? Do you think we missed a bunch of things? But I felt like it was important just to kind of highlight some of the deficiencies of their conversation, how much they would turn their conversation about Samsung into a conversation about Apple, about the iPhone, and also that they were phrasing this in like a, do you think that this is enough? And they would never do that with a new iPhone launch. Like, from iPhone 14 Pro to iPhone 15 Pro, is it enough? Well, no one ever makes that video. But for some reason, when it's an Android phone, we feel compelled to really critique and do you think that Samsung did enough? Do you think they did enough to warrant like a whole new phone? Like they were going to sell the same phone again for 2 years? Like, it just feels like it's a very one-way kind of conversation. So I did a reaction video to that. It's an hour long. Being as long-winded as I am and as long-winded as they are, it's an hour-long segment reacting to their podcast. I feel like I should maybe just let that sit tomorrow, get ahead of a couple other projects. I've got a laptop. I've got 2 laptops. I've got PCs that I need to work on. I need to kind of get ahead of next week. And I think I might take the Friday off from publishing. So I don't know. What are you looking at through the week and weekend?
I'll say this. I'm starting to spend some time with the V2 Porsche design Honor. Spending some time with that. So I've been trying to kind of get my head wrapped around I guess, a foldable that is designed to be thinner than the OnePlus Open. And it's weird to say that because it is. It's a phone that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I'm holding it in my hand and it still doesn't make sense to me. But it's a really cool phone. So I'm trying to build up some work and trying to cover on that. Over the weekend, I want to take it out and start doing take it out and test out the cameras. But the phone is, I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like it's disappearing in this image. That's how thin this thing is. It's thinner than a pencil. It makes no sense how they made a phone that thin be this big. And it is crazy. But either way, this is my second experience with Honor's foldable technology. First one was more of the standard one that I've used. This one just kind of brings it into the next level, of course, with Porsche design and so all the extra features that they have in there.
I feel like Simon just nailed it. The phone is unfocusable. It's so thin.
It's but this is the thing. Like you put it next to the OnePlus Open, and then you see that the OnePlus Open is already a thin phone, dude. I mean, seriously. There's a lot of good things in it. It has desktop mode, which is that's something that we both enjoy.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like this is still something
that's so
that
good
Honor is keeping in there. I think we both got a chance. Did you play
God.
with the Magic 5 Pro last year? I think you and I both.
No, I the last one I really got to spend time. I mean, I played with the Magic 5. Who was it that I was with? Was it Basil? I got to hang out with
Oh, Basil. Yeah. I know
anyway.
Basil. Yeah. No.
So I was hanging out with him, and I got to really like spend a little time with the 5. But I the last phone I lived with was the 4,
the 4 Pro. Okay.
the Magic 4.
So the last year with me the 5 did a lot of like it knocked it basically hit a lot of good points, and I'm hoping this year is obviously going to continue. But the V2, the weird thing about it is this device was kind of like launched or announced long time ago in China, and this is just finally the global launch of it, and this is it seems to be like a special edition, and this one includes the pen. So that was the reason why I was trying to kind of leading up to it. It actually, in the box that you get the Porsche design, you get the case for the pen, and then you also get the pen, which works on both internal and external display as it should be. So that is my thought on that. I've done some editing, I've shot some content with it. I've edited. I installed, of course, LumaFusion, works beautifully. And in this, of course, it's still running the Gen 2, but it's still a very capable device. So that's what I'm trying to. My goal is to try to do maybe Monday, Tuesday, try to kind of have something out. I've had it for about a week and a half now. I ended up skipping the whole unboxing part of it because I just didn't feel like unboxing.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah. It's like it's like, okay, hey, he opened the box. I will say one thing though. This is the only unboxing that if you ever do get a chance to do, you will see that it includes 2 chargers. They built into this the fact that you'd probably want to use it in the UK and in the EU, and they include a UK charger and a built-in EU charger. This is premium. Hold your horses there. Yeah.
I can't even get like a garbage 15-watt charger with my Samsung or even with my Sony, and yet here's Honor like, but if you're wealthy enough to afford a Porsche design, you're probably a jet setter traveling all over the place.
You'll
need other chargers too.
Yeah, no. It comes with its own custom case. Everything looks beautiful. Everything is fine. I think overall the software is maturing.
Sure. I think isn't it crazy? Like when we went from 8 Gen 1 to 8 Gen 2, I feel like, oh man, if you're getting a phone in 2023 and it's got an 8 Gen 1, I mean, it's not bad, but it's not great. And now, in 2024, I don't feel an 8 Gen 2 is any significant compromise at all.
No,
so good.
Yeah.
You're gonna be fine for a long while before software is just so outclassing that kind of a chip. It is so refreshing that even if you come to a phone a little later from 2023, it's still a banger. Like it is, it just makes me happy because it gives us more options than I think we've had for the last couple of years. Yeah. The game or the strategy of like, well, maybe I'll buy an older flagship on a sale is so much better now.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's just so much more competitive.
2023 brought us into that equilibrium between performance per watt performance benefit that you get there without having to nuke the battery on the device or start cooking stuff.
So good.
But so that's going to be primarily what I'm working towards for the next video. I do have the Keychron video that I need to put out, and I have a very unique suitcase that is it's like, okay, I don't know. I hope it makes sense to a lot of people, because when I saw it, I'm like, oh, this makes perfect sense. It's a suitcase that changes size based on what you need. It goes from a carry-on to a mid-size to a full-size luggage by expansion. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. Okay, how do you do it? It literally,
it's a Time Lord suitcase. It's bigger on the inside.
It absolutely is. And it can get bigger if you need it, and you can get smaller if you don't. What I like about it is, because of we traveled quite a bit, I would love to take something like this with me as a carry-on, right? And if I do end up picking up some stuff when I have to come back, now I have space, because typically when you're traveling, you're packing to a specific form factor. You don't really have a lot of space on the way back. So those are the things that usually kind of excite me. I mean, obviously, it's a cool looking case, really nice function. So hopefully I'll have that one as well next week with the Keychron video, because I've been a little bit behind on that. But also this weekend is Chinese New Year, so we're going to be trying to celebrate that with the family.
Hey, that's right. Congratulations.
Yeah, man.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to anybody if you celebrated. I think the celebration has kind of already started. Yeah, Chinese New Year's it's a nice
lot of our press contacts have like, oh, out of office reply. Bye.
No. If there is a
For
holiday
sure.
that is celebrated seriously and religiously, not religiously, but like seriously, it's Chinese New Year. And a lot of our friends, a lot of our PR contacts that typically work maybe in more, in cities and more urban cities and so on, they typically go back and visit their families and so on. So you see a lot of people leaving the cities and just basically more family oriented timing and spending time together with family. This is literally like the Christmas of all, but obviously it's a new year. So the new lunar new year is going to be the year of the dragon, leaving the year of the rabbit. So yeah, it'll be good.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully a really good year for anybody that's a dragon.
Well, I think in celebration of this sort of New Year's event, we should take Friday off.
We should.
Done. There you go. We're not publishing anything tomorrow.
For the celebration, but yeah, no, for sure.
Right on. Well, we got some fun stuff coming down though, and there's going to be so much leading up to MWC. So stay tuned, folks. We're exhausted.
Well, I want to say thank you to everybody for hanging out with us on this beautiful Thursday evening. The audio version of the podcast hopefully will be out within the next day or so. Thank you very much again for spending your time or your precious time with us. And we hope that at least you found something helpful in our show. So thank you. We'll see you next week. Catch Juan Carlos on Monday for the SGGQA. As always, links in the description, and be safe. Take care, everybody.